Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is Friday, June 10th. So today went fine. Workday went fine. I wound up going to Hobby Lobby when I was done work because I was coloring a page in Hannah book and there was like a baby chick in it, and I realized I don't have any yellow or orange markers. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby because I think they have them open stock. Now, I didn't think that they had them behind a locked cabinet, but of course they do because people are thieves and criminals and steal them. So here's the good part. So I get there and that's literally the only thing I was getting. So I walk right back. Luckily, there was an employee in the next aisle over. So I said, excuse me, I need some Copic markers behind the locked cabinet. She's like, I'll meet you over there. So a manager was walking by, so she grabbed him because he had the key. So he unlocks the cabinet and they're both standing there staring at me. Luckily, I just picked 4 yellows, 4 oranges. Now, at Hobby Lobby, the markers are $7.99 a piece. They had their own brand of markers on sale, 50% off open stock. Keep that in your head. So the employee says to the manager, is the protocol that I have to stand here with her? He said, yes, you also have to walk the markers up to the register. Okay, then. It made me feel like a criminal. It really did, right? So I pick out the markers. I hand them to the employee. So he locks the cabinet and she's like, do you have any other shopping to do? And I said, no, that's all I'm getting. So we walk up to the register and there's 2 lines open and there's like a couple people in the one line. The line that she goes in and gives the markers to the cashier, like I can't even hold them until I pay for them, right? There's one woman in front of me that's checking out. No, there's 2 people. Someone's checking out, then there's a woman, then there's me. So I'm standing there. The woman in front of me bought like 5 ceramic sculptures that each needed to be wrapped in tissue paper. Now remember, my new motto is, this was the line I was meant to be in, right? So I just take a breath. Okay, I'm calm. I'm calm. So I am standing there and the second line goes through all their people. And the kid, the boy, the man behind the register says, Miss, I can help you over here. And I said, she has my markers. So he's like, okay. So he just started taking other people. And finally I get up to the register and she's like, isn't it so hard to believe that people just steal these, right? She gave the markers to me for $3.99 each. Now, I knew I hadn't seen a sign that said Copic markers were 50% off. I guess she mistakenly thought they were the other markers. Because I was like, when I come home, I'm going to look on their website. Because if they're 50% off, I'm going to buy more. No. So for 8 markers, I only paid $31. Got them for $3.99 instead of $7.99. Let's go, right? So yeah, I thought that was funny that they do not even, I had them in my hand for 2 seconds while I picked them out and I had to hand them right to the woman. Craziness, yeah. Okay, so I did do some stitching yesterday. I worked on my Primrose Cottage stitches. Be happy. And it's turning out so cute. I can't with it, right? So I got the beehive stitched. So, yeah. It's looking so good. And I stitched while I was watching a movie on Amazon Prime called Thing Called Love. Did you ever see that? It stars River Phoenix before he died. And Dermot Mulroney. And they're country singers that go into Nashville and trying to like make it big. It's a good movie. I've seen it before. It's from the early 90s. I didn't finish it, so I might finish it today because Bill has to help our neighbor with something, so I'll have some time to sit here and stitch, so. But okay. Well, I did have some OMG moments, but guess what? My iPad's way over there, so I will just do those tomorrow. And I was thinking about tomorrow's video to do flip through of the new Just Cross Stitch magazine because I got that in the mail today, so I'll have to think about that. Maybe I'll film that and put that up on Sunday. Yeah, because I'm working all 5 days next week. Yeah, we're booked. We're booked every day in June except one day. The rest of the month. Yeah. Okay, so let's read a small miracle story. All right. I'm going to put the bookmark where the other one begins. Now I'm going to try to do my video in the morning tomorrow because I'm getting my hair done tomorrow and it's going to be like a 5-hour appointment. So if I don't get my video filmed in the morning, I won't have one tomorrow. So that's a possibility. So just keep that in mind. All right. That year, winter in New York City lingered lazily until late April. Living alone and legally blind, I intended to remain indoors much of the time. Finally, one day, the chill was gone and spring stepped forth, filling the air with a penetrating and exhilarating fragrance. Outside my backyard window, a merry little bird kept chirping persistently, beckoning me, it seemed, outdoors. Aware of the capriciousness of April, I clung to my winter coat, but as a concession to the change in temperature, discarded my woolen scarf, hat, and gloves. Taking my 3-pronged cane, I stepped out cheerfully onto my open porch, leading directly to the sidewalk. Lifting my face to the sun, I gave it a welcoming smile in acknowledgement of its warmth and promise. As I walked down my quiet dead-end street, my next-door neighbor called out a musical hello and asked if I wanted a lift to where I was going. No, thank you, I called back in return. These legs of mine have been resting all winter and my joints are badly in need of an outing, so I think I'll walk. Reaching the corner, I waited, as was my habit, for someone to come along who would let me walk across with them when the light turned green. It seemed to take somewhat longer than usual for the sound of traffic to cease, yet I had no offers. As I stood there patiently, I began to hum a tune that returned to me from somewhere in the back of my head. It was a welcome to spring song I had learned in school as a child. Suddenly, a strong, well-modulated masculine voice spoke up. "You sound like a very cheerful human being," it said. "May I have the pleasure of your company across the street?" Flattered by such chivalry, I nodded, smiling, whispering a barely audible yes. Gently, he tucked his hand around my upper arm, and together we stepped off the curb. As we slowly made our way across, we talked of the most obvious topic, the weather, and about how good it was to be alive on such a day. As we kept in step together, it was difficult to determine who was the guide and who was the one being led. We had barely reached the other side of the crossing when horns impatiently began blasting forth again at what was assuredly a change in the light. We walked on a few more paces to get away from the curb. Turning to him, I opened my mouth to thank him for his assistance and company. Before a single word had left my lips, he spoke up. "I don't know if you realize," he said, "how gratifying it is to find someone as cheerful as you to accompany a blind person like me across the street." That spring day has stayed with me forever, and the person that told that story was Charlotte Wexler. So she thought he could see, and he thought she could see. What? Wow. Can you imagine? Wow. Okay, so the comment to the story: sometimes when we feel most alone in the universe, God sends us a twin, a mirror image, to buffer and assuage our sense of differentness and isolation. That is such a heartwarming story. Like, you know, you'd like to think that God was just looking down on them and letting them guide one another, and yeah. I did not know how that was going to end. That was a good ending. Okay. How are we going to continue to unfuck ourselves? An excellent tear. In 2022, I'm going to have to tear off. Let me see if I can do it. There's like all this extra paper on here. And I forget who said that if I tear off all those extra little bits, that is what will give me a better tear. Wait a minute, here we go. Oh yeah, look at all that I tore off. Now it's nice and clean up there. Okay. Wait a minute, there's still a little bit, and it's bugging me. Okay, being an accepting human being means you are open to allowing others to be who they are. That is easier said than done, let me tell you. Because, but I also like to think that if everyone were the same, boy, would this be a pretty boring place to live, right? Yep, it surely would. So that is why, you know, Bill and I are opposite in a lot of ways. And I don't have any problem with that. I'm sorry, I'm like still picking off paper. Okay, it's good now. But yeah, absolutely, that's what being accepting means. And I like to think that, you know, Bill and I, we let each other be who we're supposed to be. I mean, obviously sometimes you compromise, right? For different things, but for the most part, I feel like you have to let your spouse be who they are. Why did you marry them, right? Women, never have the intention of marrying someone thinking you're going to change them. No. Okay. I know this was a short one today, but that's all I got. So I hope you guys are having a great Friday and a good start to the weekend. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and spending almost 13 minutes of your time with me today. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.